levels to which they will descend in their callous disregard for the lives and safety of their fellow citizens.
This is a church, and people went there to mourn. They went there to mourn. And the kind of despicable thugs that would go when people are mourning and doing this don't belong on the streets, they belong in jail.
The city has stepped up police patrols in some troubled neighborhoods, but the shootings continue. This pastor from a church close to the one where today's shooting occurred says something drastic has to be done.
We've got to also come on the same level and say, listen, if you're going to be that brazen, we're also going to be that brazen in what we need to do to solve this problem.
But that solution seems a long way off when each act of gang-related gun violence seems to lead to another.
Most of the victims and their killers belong to street gangs, gangs that terrorize some low-income neighborhoods in Toronto. But now some of these communities are fighting back, trying new ways to try to keep young people out of trouble. Here's the CBC's Kelly Crow with a look at one community's program for kids who want to take a different kind of shot.
In the language of the urban analyst, this is a troubled community. Its name is Malvern. It keeps ending up in the news in stories about violent crime.
I'd like to go around and have everyone introduce themselves. My name is
But that's not why these teenagers have gathered together in a dim boardroom on a sunny afternoon.
We'll start to our left here.
No one asked them to come here to break down barriers, to be part of a targeted program for vulnerable youth. They just saw a notice at school. Anyone interested in photography, show up today at 1 p.m. So here they are, the Malvern Youth Photo Club.
Okay, the three of you. This is for the three of you.
This is meeting number 1. Michael Cotto is the guy in charge. He's the image coordinator for the Malvern Family Resource Center, and he's planning to use these teenagers to help improve the image of the community.
Well, we received a small grant, I believe it's under $5,000, to put together a program for youth that would give them cameras. They would go out into the community, capture the positive side of the Malvern community.
But first, he has to show them what a picture can do.
Anyone would like to take this picture? It's the tanks with one man standing. Okay, I'm going to give it to these ladies here. And I'm going to give you guys this one.
Well, we're kind of close.
Yeah.
I knew it was Tiananmen Square.
I knew he was a hero somehow.
One shot can change the world, and that's the type of image or message that they should be thinking when they're actually taking that shot.
So armed with a disposable camera, they have 6 weeks to find some magic and answer the question, can a picture really change anything? Judy Pham is 17. She was just elected president of her high school. She wants to become a teacher one day. But today, she's a photographer, searching for beauty.
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture.
Take it from a different angle.
Oh, whoops.
But what is it about the eye of the artist that is pulled towards the darkness?
Well, it looked like Malvern was bad, but if you look around the picture, you see the community is very nice. It's just the little things like that broken up fridge that make the community look horrible. But if you look beyond the fridge, you can see the beauty of Malvern.
It's week 2.
The Marlboro Man, a picture taken.
The cops are here.
Just one snapshot of this man became.
It's another one of Michael's quiet goals. He wants to use the photo club to help break down barriers between the youth and the police.
During the day, is there a lot of crime that happens during the day in Malvern?
Well, we have a lot of crime here, but we have a large population. But we also have the 3 highest demographic areas of teenagers. Yeah. And this area here is number 1 in Toronto. So obviously we're going to have a crime because that is where most of the crime occurs between 14 and 24 years of age.
So when the club members arrive, they find a room full of cops, but no one's in trouble. Is this for real?
These pictures are not all police-type pictures. These are pictures that I've taken on vacations.
Michael asked the local police division for some volunteers.
If you're going to take a picture of something...
Constable Gordon Hayford was an obvious choice. He's a community liaison officer and a professional photographer on the side.
A lot of people will put your face right smack dab in the middle of the camera, and there will be all this space around it.
And he knows how to talk to teenagers. He even brought his own soundtrack.
And I brought my fancy dancy Apple computer with me today, and it has music. So, lights, please.
I can see a little bit of apprehensiveness. You know, the cops are coming in and this and that. So once they meet us, they realize we're just regular people.
Now for the interesting part, the kids and the cops out on the streets taking pictures together.
I felt even a bit strange walking in the community with a police officer and a bunch of youth because people were staring at us everywhere. And we were taking pictures, and people, I believe, were thinking there was a crime scene that we were taking pictures of, something was going on. And it is unusual, and that's what we have to break. We have to break down that wall.
Anybody got a picture that you're just not happy with something in it?
The Malvern Youth Photo Club, week 3. They're halfway through, and it's a big day. The first pictures are back. It's time to see what they've got.
Now, what don't you like about that one?
Oh, it's a bit too dark.
I just like the effects.
Nadia Hosu is in grade 12. Her favorite shot was an accident.
This one was on the bus. I would have liked it if I put the flash on, but I forgot. I just held it up and snapped the picture. Me and my friend Lindsay were actually trying to get like the diversity of people, and you can't really see that.
This picture was taken like right in my neighborhood, like right across my street. I live like on the side over there.
Sylvester Cancam found Africa on the streets of Malvern.
It just reminded me of myself when I was when I was back in Africa, right? Because I used to live in some street, it just looked exactly like that. And I remember seeing a picture something like this. I've always wanted to take a picture like that. So when I saw the street, I'm like, I might as well take a picture. And
this reminds you of a street in Africa.
Yeah.
Yo, it's going down. Deeper than imagination travels, schemes unravel, jam slam like
Of course, one of the fun things is being able to take, for instance, take her right out of the picture.
Sylvester is 18 and in grade 12. He wants to be a graphic artist. He never thought he'd be getting tips from the cops.
I've actually explained more into details. I should go better at it, and I took more better pictures. So like the rest of my pictures, they're not that good because that time I didn't know about it. But then when I came and he explained it to me, that's when I was actually able to take these kind of pictures, like really close and really nice, which is more explainable.
Good afternoon. Hello, sir. How are you?
6 weeks are over already? Yes, it's the last meeting of the Malvern Youth Photo Club. They're having a wrap-up picnic. So what did they gain? Well, a new way of looking at the police, for one thing. Around the table, they all admit to taking something away from this experiment in the politics of art.
Well, this is one way to get them to listen. So pretty much you gotta take a picture for what you're trying to change. You want it seen this way, take a picture and make it seen.
Actually, it's made me see more of the positive sides to Malvern, because before it was all about the drive-bys and stuff. And it's like, oh, wow, there's more to it than
the drive-bys and stuff. What's a drive-by?
A drive-by is when a car drives by your street with the window down and a gun pointing out the window and shooting at you.
Nothing at all.
I feel that I can make more of a difference in my community now than I ever could just out there running around catching bad guys. But I get more personal satisfaction out of having seen what I can do with some of these kids and seeing what I can do with people and make them feel better about where they live.
A lot of my friends outside of this community feel that I live in a horrible community, but for me to know that I don't live in a horrible community, it's enough for me to not be afraid. And I am proud to live in this community. It's like any other community.
So for the Malvern Youth Photo Club, it was 6 weeks of talking about shooting, shots, the police, the same words that have brought this community so much pain, now transformed into a new and powerful language of photography. Kelly Crow, CBC News, in the community of Malvern, in the city of Toronto.
After the Boxing Day shootout, many Torontonians called for police to crack down on gangs, and they demanded longer jail terms for those convicted of gun crimes. But others argued that job training and community programs like the Malvern Photo Club can provide a more lasting solution to the problem of gangs and guns by helping young people stay out of gangs, stay out of trouble, and sometimes just stay alive. And that's News in Review. I'm Carla Robinson. Thanks for watching.